2017, the European premier event for entertainment and media professionals.
An event that in 2016 attracted more than 55,000 attendees from over 159 countries for the conference and exhibition.
1,600 companies are jostling for space in the packed halls of the RAI.
We're here at InBroadcast 2017. I'm here with Martin from IRG. How are you, Martin?
Hi, Vanessa. We're well. We're getting wound up for this show, as usual.
Perfect. Now, I know that IRG's members are extremely tech-focused. Where are you all with technology right now?
I'd almost think we're a set of geeks, but technology, well, we're from what was dear old carrier ID, which to many of this audience they'll know about, but right through now in a few years into machine learning, i.e., artificial intelligence, but equally the more important term now is augmented intelligence. You heard it with cars, you heard it, well, it's got to happen in our part, satellite operations, because that topic alone is where the new tools come from, how we fix the real problems that face us in transmission issues. And remember, the organisation's global, the membership's global. The idea is not about selling, it's about actually trying to fix things or stop it happening. So we're at that juncture now where we've traversed from traditional topics and now we're starting to, burn our fingers and toes in places we're not so sure about, but it's exciting. Even for an old man like me, it's exciting.
Now, you mentioned fixing things, so is that things including satellite transmission interference?
It is indeed. That's the core of the job. But the point is now, I think where we're going is, having mentioned machine learning, the real problem is now is what are the hot topics? What's going on now that may be part of this same story? And two things stand out. One is cybersecurity. Everybody's talking about that. The other one, of course, is 5G. What does 5G do to satellites? What happens? Does that do anything? Well, for us, the whole thing, is it more questions or is it probably more worries and then a lack of answers? In other words, we want to innovate and find solutions, etc. So what I'm trying to do now is the group's got to really think through 2018. Think about it. We've got capabilities of drones being able to verify antenna patterns. Complicated, but some out there will understand that. Doing that from the air. But drones themselves are a problem, just drones. People want to use them for VSAT and then transmit back up to the satellite on backhaul. 5G. LEOs are coming. And if they're not here already, which some are in a way, with O3B, it's working. But now we're talking the plethora of LeoSat, OneWeb, and SpaceX. There's just three. What does that do to what was a relatively simple case? It wasn't. That's the point. It's getting complicated. Go back a bit into cybersecurity. We're putting more RF radio frequencies over IP. Okay, so what happens to the signals now when a hacker gets it? Has anybody thought about what happens to the firmware inside equipment in the RF chain on the satellite? I hear talk, but everybody's talking about broadcast networks, not about the next part, the getting it from A to B. There's a whole plethora of things we, as a group, have to not only learn, we've got to tackle that. It's going to happen, but I don't want to run into, and I've said this before, I know this, run into a brick wall and go, we should have seen that coming. We need to be ready.
So you sort of need to, with all these tech innovations, you need to anticipate what's happening so you can find those solutions before they're needed.
Yes.
So how does that affect employment? How does that affect education of people who are capable of providing this type of knowledge and technology?
Well, some of the answers right in front of you. Look at me. How old do you think I am? This is my 48th year in this industry. And where are the young people? There's lots of young people. We're lucky there are some, but in engineering, where sadly we're still the pond life of the industry, I will say that this time, and we shouldn't be. We're all in this together, and we need engineers and we need skill. The guys that are on my board, the guys that are our members are smart. we're not got so many young people. Where are we going to get them from? My argument isn't university. It's starting at school. We have to start at the schools to get the people to come to university or study the right things or simply do apprenticeships. Not everybody does at university. We don't need it. But we're not doing it. And I don't think it's just Europe. I don't think it's anywhere. That's a problem. That's an underlying problem.
Because there's a dearth of people who have that knowledge who are able to provide that skill set. So I heard that even some production networks are actually setting up their own schools so that it's easier to recruit people.
Well, I come from a thing called the General Post Office, which became British Telecom. I'm that old. And that's how we used to do it. We had our own schools, we had our own technology departments, we had our own courses. Everything was done that way, proper apprenticeships. And I think it paid off. I think it worked. It certainly worked for me. I started as an apprentice. I have no degree. You don't need a degree, you need to learn. There's no laziness, you need to learn.
So maybe in the future taking some notes from the past.
Oh, definitely. Learn from the past, and history repeats itself. I think to sort of conclude, what I'd like to promote is our next workshop, because it will crop up there, along with all the rest you've just talked about. Everything we've talked about and more. Everything about antennas and transmission is important to us. All the key players will be there. It's October 25th, 26th. If you go to www.satirg.org, just go to the website. It's free. There's an unusual thing these days. It's free. You just register, let the girls know, and they will sort out accommodation or whatever's needed. But apart from the accommodation, you've got to pay for. But the actual attendance is free. We want technologists in the room. We want ideas, innovation. We're looking at C-band. We've got mobile people in the room. Got flat panel people in the room. We've got all sorts, right up to the Space Data Association.
Fantastic. Thank you for all the information.
Thank you, Vanessa.